God, and I thought Onitaijin was big. How am I even supposed to record the unboxing part? I have to be careful too, because it's my friend's figure, so I'll figure something out, I guess. What was even the point of that? Huh. Okay, this is just getting silly at this point. Right. Come on, tiny little screw. I have nails. Fine. Thank God this only takes AAAs. Right, and I'll just test it real quick. Alright. This just goes back in. Loop. Alright, now to get everything else out. Delicate, they are marked. Make sure you put these in right. Whoa, whoa, these are heavy. That's kind of sharp. Oh, those are not ratchets or anything. They're just there, huh? Strong ankles, oh my god. These are the loudest hip ratchets I've ever heard. Jeez. Right, and wiggle the ankles and to get it to stand a little bit straighter. These are going on last. Ah, so that's how it locks in. Why has nobody mentioned that in any of the reviews? That's actually really important information if you ever need to take this apart, like I do when I have to bring it back to my friend's house. There's a release latch here. I was really worried this was gonna like lock in permanently. Right, and let me just push that back against the wall. Right. Left. Right. Again, this isn't mine, and it's very expensive, so I'm going to double check that. That's weird. The texture is different. This is shinier than the rest of the body. Okay, I do want to point out, these are not, like, in that deep. By the way, this is the right one. It's a little bit confusing in the instructions. They just sort of sit in nice and easily and pull out fairly easily, but they will absolutely snap off if they fall and hit something. Hello and welcome back to not a Gunpla review. Today we're taking a look at the Robot Damashii Big Zam. Now, starting off as always with the articulation. If you pop up the top hatch, we'll be going in there a lot. You can actually move the mono eye, and the main cannon can actually hinge up and down to about there. Also, you'll notice it's exposing a little bit of gray at the top there. Bringing the camera down because this thing's so big that I literally have to move the camera around to show everything off. The hips get 3 clicks out for about 45 degrees. They come on the loudest ratchet I've ever heard. just under 90 degrees out to the front, and jeez. This thing's really unwieldy, I'm sorry. Actually, more than 90, well, pretty much exactly 90 degrees, actually, out to the back. Also, look how bulky that ratchet is. My joint in there is crazy. This thing's actually kind of heavy to be holding, honestly. Anyway, there is actually a thigh swivel, though it actually stops here. Or at the very least, it's resistance, and I don't want to force it. Ooh, what a workout this thing is. The knee gets to about here, and then there's actually a spring-loaded panel that lets it fold more than 90 degrees. And finally, you have metal ankle ball joints, so they're nice and tight. And then each toe is on a hinge down about 90 degrees, and then this toe piece is also on a hinge and a swivel, but that's because it can come off. Oh, so everything, whew. So it has full articulation, and I'm not really worried about any of the ratchets, and wow, those ankles are tough, so yeah, it should be able to hold most poses, though it comes with a stand anyway, so. Now, getting into accessories and gimmicks. The toes can come off because technically they're able to fire off. I think it's an MSV thing. All 6 of them can do that. Oh. Camera up as much as I can. Alright, back to the panel at the top of the head. The switch on this side in the back, push it forward, turns on the mono eye. We'll get to the other switch in a minute. It can move up to either of these first posts. It's a big angled disc in here. Now the main cannon, the eye field generators are actually the switches. It's actually really nicely hidden in there, though I do find it's kind of annoying to actually turn these. Come on. Yeah. Insanely bright. This has an LED dedicated to itself, and I assure you, in person, it's just as bright as it is on camera. This is like the brightest LED I've ever seen. This one, you turn the other way, and it turns on all the minder cannons all the way around. All the way to the back. Now, both of these panels on the front, if you can get your nails in, can be pulled out. On this copy, this one is way tighter. Then they give you 2 of these, which feels slightly unnecessary. That's the same size hole, but I guess a little bit of extra distance. These are specifically built for the Damashii Nation Act 5, I believe, the bulkier one. This is a 4mm hole, I believe. Anyway, these are just so that you can attach a stand on here to have the Gundam in the air jumping towards it. Inside that top hatch is actually a fully detailed and painted cockpit, which includes both co-pilots and Dozle. It's really hard to actually see it. I'm doing the best I can with the photo I'm using here, but it is in there, and that's awesome. As well, on the back, there's a little hatch that flips open that leads down into the Big Zam, which is, of course, the hatch that opens when Dozle comes out to fight in person. What was his plan exactly? And speaking of which, you do get a little Dozle figure to plug into the one peg hole on the back of this. I do kind of wish they used a bit of paint to at least paint all of them darker, because the one that's deeper to actually fit the peg for this is like notably darker, but it's not a big deal. And for the sides, he's painted pretty well, though I will say he does seem to be slightly bigger than he should be. I mean, I know Dozle's like a mountain of a man anyway, but like, next to my real grade pilot figure, he looks like he's 9 feet. You know? It won't matter on its own. Like, I need to specify. It will not matter. It looks close enough to 144 that having him on the Big Zam in a display will look completely normal. But if you put him next to another one, you notice he's a little bigger than he should be. That really doesn't matter, it's just something that I noticed. And finally, if you take off this panel, which slides in from the top, so you have to pull it out straight. You get probably the coolest part of this, a working projector. I'm just gonna hold this up. This is the movie version of Dozel's new type energy. The one built into it is the TV version, and honestly, I think the TV version looks better, so kind of glad they made that the default. Let me just turn it off for a second. I'll put in a picture here showing what it actually looks like on being projected. It can actually project onto my black backdrop with the lights off. It's completely crisp. So, I mean, if that tells you anything on how ridiculously good this thing works. Also, if you finagle it, you can actually adjust, well, you can adjust the distance for how far away the wall is, which is nice. But you can also pull the whole thing out. There we go. And you can see the actual projector itself is built in. And then it has a second lens here. This literally just slides out. One thing to keep in mind, as you can see here, it actually, the lens on the projector inverts the image. So when you're putting these slides in, make sure you put them in upside down. And yeah, you can actually see the difference there. The TV one looks so much better in my opinion. And the final accessory, I guess you call it, it does come with a stand, clear plastic bottom, just pegs in. The actual rod is made out of metal, which is nice. This is a fixed angle. I really feel like they could have made that a ball joint and it would have been fine, but as you can probably tell from the angle of this, the rearmost bottom thruster gets swapped out. It's a very basic stand, there's no adjustment or anything, it's pretty much just like a third leg to support the actual Big Zam on your shelf. Though potentially you could use it for a walking pose, which would be nice. And as for a quick size comparison... here's a ruler. This thing's seriously like 1.5 feet tall. It's ridiculous. It's over 1 foot wide. Here's my high grade. Yeah, it's 144 scale. Big Zam's enormous. Seriously, like, it doesn't even come up to the knee. So, to wrap this review up, if you're wondering if this thing's worth the price, kinda. I'm sure whatever aftermarket it's going for is probably a little bit of much, but wow, this thing is big and bulky, and it uses metal for some of the important joints, and it has lights everywhere, and a working projector. I'm sure those glass lenses, by the way, were relatively expensive, so this was clearly a passion project by the designers. And like I said, this isn't my copy. My friend bought this, and even then, this thing is expensive. But trying my best to put myself in his shoes and his wallet, I see where the price is going. Importing it drove that price up to the point where it's a little bit on the too much end, but this thing is absolutely worth the retail price. And honestly, maybe a little bit more, because this is going to be a centerpiece of a collection. This is like the same bulk as the Neo Zeong. So, yeah, this is a 1/44th Big Zam. Like, it does everything you want out of a Big Zam. It's really cool to finally have one that you can pose with your figures in scale. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to disassemble this whole thing and put it back in the box to bring it back to my friend's house. And that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Subscribe and hit the bell to be alerted for future reviews. Come chill in the Discord. Follow me on Twitter, if that's even still around. And consider supporting me on Patreon so I can keep bringing you videos like this. And, as always, until next time, happy building.